Up, yeah. All right.
Yeah, so Blokes Podcast, episode 1.
What? One or two?
Well, technically 2, because we literally recorded a whole 45-minute podcast and Lewis didn't press record. Anyway, that's all right. We're here. We're back. We're probably going to make it a little bit worse, but that's okay.
Nah, it'll be better.
It'll be better.
Second time's always better. Maybe
Second time's a charm. I think it's the third time's a charm. It's all right. Maybe we'll have to go 3 times.
Let's just make sure we're recording.
This is on 2 out of 3.
No, we're definitely
No,
recording.
yeah, you go
I'll
check.
double check.
See, guys,
Is it?
what we spoke about in our first one is this is just a test, you know.
Oh, yeah, there we
we're
go.
just getting to learn it. We're going to have a backdrop here, you know. Hold on. So yeah, so we're going to have a backdrop. It's going to be a bit more organized. Like we're recording on my phone, plugged into my Mac,
Held up by a box.
held up by a box, and yeah.
We got the setup though. Oh, Jesus, that's
you're
very
right.
loud. Sorry, lads.
So yeah, well, what we spoke about, we'll get into now. So firstly, we'll talk about us as people. So
Yeah.
Lewis, if he wants to talk about
I'll
himself.
kick off with that one. So yeah, I'm Lewis, lewismoorzone.eth in the Discord. So yeah, a bit about me. I grew up in Cairns. So I'm a Cairns boy, far north Queensland. Did school and everything there. Yeah, repping the far north. Did school and everything there. So went through to grade 12. Moved down to Brizzy when I was 17 to start uni. So marketing and law degree at QUT. And then while I was doing that, I was working part-time at Domino's Pizza. So I started there as just an intern with the legal team, and then eventually got a paid position after a few months interning, which was pretty cool. And then graduated uni last year. And then now I'm working in the legal profession. So yeah, that's a bit about me. And then always kind of been interested and thought business was pretty cool, and always had a drawing too. So
Yeah, I thought I might just add as well. The reason why we're talking about ourselves is because we're kind of trying to build our brand, not necessarily a follow account. We don't care about that. None of us personally. Maybe Lewis does, I don't know.
oh, get off it.
But no, we're not trying to build our follower account, none of that. We're trying to build our personal, I guess, business brand, or, you know, just podcast brand. So you guys can get to know us behind our NFT project, which is Beefy Blokes, if you guys don't know. So this is going to be something completely different. Yeah, they'll tie together. The podcast will have some benefits if you own our NFT. But yeah, that's a little bit about that. But so me personally, went to school in Brisbane, grew up in Brisbane most of my whole life. And yeah, so recently in grade 12, which was about 3 years ago, bought crypto, you know, started my marketing degree around that time as well, obviously after school. But yeah, bought crypto with Daniel here. Anything top 100 you can make money on back then. We did. I put mine all into Ethereum mostly. And then when NFTs came around, just sucked in, you know, bought one, sold it instantly for profit, instantly addicted. Yeah, and then that was in August of 2021 for me. Bought my first NFT, and then September bought my ape. Ever since then, been loving it. December decided why not build this project, and yeah, decided to bring all these 2 blokes together because I thought out of all the people, you know, I'm friends with and in my life, they would be the best for starting a project or a business with me, because it is a business. We know we're registered, all taxes, everything, you know. But yeah, that's a little bit about me, you know, marketing, love basketball, so keen for this project. The community's awesome so far. Yeah, motivated.
Easy. Yeah, so a little bit about me. Went to school at Jackson, as he said. Bought some cryptocurrency in 2019. Paid off pretty well for the boys. But then about me outside of all that, so I study in construction management. I've got a job as a contract administrator full-time here in Brisbane. So that takes up a considerable amount of my time. But even though I don't study business, construction is probably one of the largest emerging businesses and sectors within the economy. And I think it will be for the next 20 years. So I've always taken an interest in business. Jackson and I have had several attempts at business and I guess startups that we didn't really get started just because of some external factors and stuff. And that's a big motivation behind Beefy Blokes. So yeah, so that's me in a nutshell, really. Full-time work, full-time Beefy Blokes. And yeah, just living my life with the great people that I surround myself with.
Yeah, we're just 3 blokes trying something new, learning as we go, and providing for you blokes, I guess. That's right. That's the goal.
Putting everything that we preach in that Discord to use, I think.
Yeah.
And we showed that even from like us 3 getting up at pitch night. I know, speaking for Lewis, he's probably done countless of those, but for Jackson and myself, it was our first ever hit out doing public speaking in a formal setting. And I mean, even though it didn't go as smoothly as I would like for myself, still put myself out there and we had a crack. And it's a one of many to come, I reckon.
So that's us. So why are we doing the podcast, and what makes it different from our project first? We'll talk about our project after,
That's right.
but why the podcast? Because obviously you guys are watching on the podcast right now. This is going to be uploaded to Discord, the first one only. The other ones will be uploaded to YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. So yeah, why the podcast, Lewis? Or do you want me to go for it? Or
Yeah, I'll kick off, start with it, and then maybe we'll bounce back to you. So like we wanted the podcast to really be something separate to the actual Beefy Blokes project, although still all tied into the brand and the business that we're trying to build. And essentially we want it to be a brand build for what we are behind the project, as in who are we as people? Who are you believing in? Who are you putting your money into essentially when you buy a bloke, and then potentially later releases that we come out with. So yeah, Jackson came up with the idea after speaking to a few people, and yeah, you'd probably take it a bit further than that.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, we spoke to some people that came up from Melbourne. They interviewed us and stuff. Mikey from Good Ideas and his crew of our camera crew, and one of the camera guys just basically Poncho. Shout out Poncho. Yep. So yeah, me and Husey were just talking to Poncho, and he was basically saying how he likes listening to us talk, and they all said it, and how it would be interesting on a podcast. So that kind of kickstarted the idea. But like Lewis said, building our own personal brands, I guess, in a way, because if you guys are in the Discord already, or if you're not, join the Discord. But yeah, if you're in our Discord for the NFT project, you know that they're doing more real world stuff, and then I'm in the Discord more often. So I guess this is how you can see what they're doing every week. Obviously, I do my weekly update, but even I don't say everything we're doing. And this is a more natural setting. It's not like a quick minute video telling what we're doing. It's more natural. You get to know us. I feel like I feel like we'll actually be pretty good podcast hosts, and we're going to get some cool guests on. It's going to be completely different to our guests that we're going to be getting on our NFT project. We'll talk about in a little bit, but yeah, we're going to get some cool guests on, friends of ours, as well as just well-respected people, and any guests from sports people to mental health, like just anyone really.
Yeah.
We're just really stoked to see how that goes. But yeah, podcast, pretty chill setting. Hopefully it does pretty well. And yeah, it's going to keep at it.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, we might as well kick off into some of the utilities.
What's our vision really?
We'll jump there first.
So I'll start it off. So basically a little pitch. If you guys don't know what Beefy Blokes is, so that's our NFT project, 5,005 NFTs to be exact. 5 of them are one of ones. They're all related to Australian cultural traits. There's 100 cultural traits. And yeah, a little bit about our vision, why we're doing it. It's like a mentoring hub kind of, I guess, in a sense. You can elaborate on it more in our spaces, but yeah, what I think makes us different from other Web2 projects that are out there right now, and similar ideologies that they have, is, we're a safe, democratized place for all men, basically. So what that means is it's a safe place for all like-minded individuals to come together, and we've already established a pretty good community of people like helping each other out. Like, so for example, like completely decentralized. We're never going to ask for your name, your email address, your address even. Whereas with another Web2 projects, they might ask for your name, your email and stuff like that.
And you're there in person, like your face is generally there.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, what are we offering? So Bored Ape Yacht Club, they started the trend back in April they were like the first project to really offer an exclusive community membership. So what you were buying when they released was a membership to an exclusive community of apes, obviously 10,000 originally. And yeah, everyone's kind of backed off that, every single project. And we're obviously an exclusive community. It's like a membership. You buy one of ours, you have all the benefits that we're going to talk about in a second. If you don't have it, then you won't get any of the benefits. Yeah. Obviously this will be open setting. Guys who had come and listen to this, you don't have to hold an NFT to listen to this. But yeah, you can talk a little bit about more the actual vision, what the motive and future, even
where we came from with it. Yeah. So I think, like, as Jax was saying, we've been in this space, be it crypto or NFT for months, Jackson more years, Husey years ago as well. And particularly when the NFT space came out, we were looking for projects that we could be a part of, that really drew us in. And I personally really struggled to find something that I was like, boom, yep, this is me. Mm-hmm. There was a fair bunch of things in the Web2 space, whether it be different memberships or clubs that you'd be able to join, and you'd pay a monthly fee and you'd get access to different utilities. So I think we were like, all right,
on Patreon or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
A monthly thing.
Yeah. So we're like, all right, well, here's this project, which is essentially a ticket to the Beefy Blokes community. and then you get a bunch of the utilities that we're providing.
It's a one-time purchase compared to Patreon. It's a monthly.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
can rack up,
yeah,
and you can sell it, you can make your money back if the floor price does go up, or,
yeah, yeah. And really, it's at the core of it. It's a community of blokes, like-minded blokes, and Sheila's eventually a bit of alpha, where we can all just come together and bounce ideas off of each other. If we're going through different struggles, I think that was a big motivator for me. Went through hell and back a couple of years ago, and I found bouncing ideas and speaking to different blokes and women as well of what I was going through, and people have generally experienced in one way or another, although very different, kind of ties back to maybe what you're going through. And I was able to pull ideas from these people of, all right, do this, do that, think about this, and pluck the best things to then put into my life. So, and I think that's what we've got at the core, is that community that can help people.
Yeah, and then not everyone is going to be like Lewis, and they don't feel like about opening up their feelings.
Yeah.
'Cause blokes in specific, they struggle with mental health more than women. You can look it up; it's a fact.
Yeah.
And we feel like, obviously there's Web2 projects out there right now which are about mental health and mentoring, and for men and women. There's obviously women projects like World of Women and all those other ones. But blokes are more inclined to open up about their feelings if no one knows who they are.
Yeah.
Because they're just talking to someone on a screen that they might have a somewhat of a relationship with. They might think they're quite a good person, or we've already had people come into our mental health section of our Discord, tell us their current struggles they're going through right now, some sad stories and stuff, and the blokes pick them up, tell them about their experiences, make them feel. And I think it's not just necessarily helping them out; it's just them being able to talk to someone that's that's real, that cares, I guess, to listen. It's important, right? And if no one knows who they are, I guess that's what we're building, right? We're building a place for that. Yeah, anyone could do that. So yeah, any project could come out and say, yeah, we're building a place for people to come and hang out. It's not, but we're actually our utilities all rely on that. So all go back to that.
Yeah.
And that's a long-term vision, right?
Yeah.
It's only going to be 5,005, right, of the first original project. So that's a pretty limited supply of people. So let's say the membership. So it is a membership. Let's say it starts picking up and people really want to be a part of it. It's a thin supply. And once, for example, normally if you have a 5,005 project, there's probably roughly 2,500 holders, maybe a little bit more. So only 2,500 people have access to this exclusive club. I mean, that's
it's thin. It's thin. That's for sure. Like, particularly when you go to some of these conferences these days, and we'll jump into the utilities next and what we're providing, and it'll probably link back to what I'm saying now. But there's more than 5,000 people, say, at some of these big conferences where entrepreneurs, CEOs, business leaders are speaking. So that might be a good segue.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what he's saying. Like, yeah, these guys do massive conferences all the time. They probably tell their life stories. Maybe some of them don't that we're getting on, but the difference is you as a holder will be able to actually ask them a question. You'll be able to literally, like, it feels like you're talking to them. Like, we'll be hosting a Q&A. So Lewis will get into some of our utilities, but yeah, that's kind of the.
Yeah, but just quickly on the vision, and a reason why us three are so passionate about it, is because we've all been through those experiences where we wish we had someone to speak to who didn't necessarily know us, they couldn't see us. Because speaking for myself, I definitely feel more comfortable speaking to people about my experiences if they couldn't see my face and if they didn't know who I was, just because there's that stigma around it and you might feel embarrassed. And I know I definitely feel that. And I feel like, so seeing it firsthand in our community Discord and stuff like that, people who are venting and confiding within people and just seeking general advice. Is pretty cool.
And just hanging out. But they honestly enjoy it. Like, compared to other, it's so funny. Like, we literally just recorded this, right? So I feel like I'm not doing as well, but I'm just gonna try and do my best to read, because I feel like the last one was good. Anyway, like a lot of other projects, right? You have thousands of members, maybe not as many online or whatever, but ours is 621 members. I think we got today. 200 of them are online normally. And it's active, like the general's active. Like, people actually want to be there to hang out, because that's what our utilities are all about. And our vision's all about, is creating a place where people want to come out, hang out, safe spot. Whereas other projects, they might be doing a game and stuff like that. So their general's kind of boring, because their whole utility isn't about creating a community, right? Yeah. Like, they say they're creating a community, but they're not. Whereas we're actually creating a community, right? Everything's been organic so far. So yeah, that's
cool.
Really. Yeah. And the future of Beefy Blokes is basically guided by the community. Obviously, we're going to talk about our utilities community fund wallet. But essentially, we would like to be, the top project for men's mental health and such. But then if we are the top project, there's only 2,005 memberships, basically, 5,005 total, but 2,005 holders, that's pretty small for what we're offering.
Yeah, and what we got planned as well.
And especially if it becomes exclusive like that, think it'd be pretty cool to hang out there, you know, like.
Sure. Well, yeah, I might jump into a couple of the utilities then.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I'll
And then
jump into,
we'll all do some.
yeah, we'll share it amongst us. So I might do the Spaces and the Bloke Startup Fund.
Mhm.
So I think the Spaces one is one that I'm particularly excited for and passionate about. So essentially, you're a part of the community. So these utilities are only for blokes holders. So Spaces being every couple of weeks, we'll get a leader onto kind of like a podcast kind of forum, but obviously not in this setting.
Mhm.
So they'll join us. We'll run a bit of a Q&A with them, get their story, get their background. So we're talking CEOs, entrepreneurs, mental health leaders, businessmen, businesswomen, sport leaders, sportsmen.
Holders only, by the way.
Yep, holders only. So then we'll run the Q&A with them to start off with, and then we open it up to the floor. So if you're a holder, then you can ask any questions you want. And I think that value in speaking to those people is just, I think, what's really boosted me in my passion and energy as well. You step out of a room speaking to some of these people, and it's like, holy shit, like I can go and do this. Like these are the ideas that they've given me. This is the motivation they've given me. They did this, and this. How can I apply that to me? So yeah, I think that's one thing that's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I think, they did a lot of work to get to where they are, and like might be a bit, you know, like, oh, that's a bit much. I don't want to put that much work in. That's a lot to commit to, but you take things from them, you know, and you learn from these people. Like I've had people international say to me, well, what's the benefits if you're going to be getting mostly Australians? Because they're not mostly Australian, but they will be mostly Australians for these spaces. They're obviously still successful people, but they say, well, what's the benefit for us? We don't want to listen to an Australian person. It's like, well, I don't know if you know, but these Australian guys are still pretty successful as well.
That's
and you
right.
can still pull things from them, you know, like there's guys that are international, you know, businesses, you know, like it's not to take, you know,
Yeah,
Not to
there's
take anything away.
it's
from
still an international utility, like
Yeah.
same as most of our utilities, obviously, except for IRL events. And
yeah, their wisdom is not geographically endemic to Australia. You can really learn anything from them.
yeah.
And there will be like CEOs, entrepreneurs, ambassadors who are international as well.
Yeah.
We'll be reaching out to pretty much everyone.
There's one that I'm thinking of in particular, just Jax, what you were saying there. Like they are an Aussie-based one that started here in Australia, and the way that they've scaled their business internationally is just absolutely insane. Like they just grew it crazy, and before they knew it, like they were international. So yeah, 100%. Like it's not just Australian-based stuff.
yeah, and I must say, if you're not keen on the whole mentoring part of the Beefy Blokes, that's cool. Obviously the art's cool, but it's going to be a big part of our thing because we really love it. And I spoke about this in the last podcast. It's like we're still learning, right? So we're learning from them as well. Obviously, we haven't heard all these guys speak about their whole life stories and such. So we're still learning. You're learning, and I think it's not meant to be like, oh, I'm sitting down, I'm about to study for an hour and listen to this guy talk about his. It's meant to be pretty chill. Like these guys, hopefully, the reason why they might be getting on for us, like we obviously don't know their whole reasonings why they'll be getting on our podcast. Like why would they do that? But my ideology is the reasoning why they would get on is because they get to tell their life story, might help their brand a little bit, or just they might enjoy it, or at the same time they are joining us because they might want to learn about the Web3 space, because a lot of these guys might be in the Web2 space, and well, they will be. Obviously, we'll be trying to get some Web3 people, but they might be international and stuff like that. But yeah, we're learning, you're learning, they're learning. Yeah, literally, it's just a good environment to hang out at. Yeah. And then the podcast is a bit different, so we'll be getting more not as influential people. They're still really cool guests, and yeah,
Interesting.
It's only going to expand, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and then the Bloke Startup Fund. This is another really cool one. So the idea came from really, it's kind of a bit like I'd say a Shark Tank kind of pitch. So there's going to be people that are in our Discord. I suppose we're trying to draw people that are similar to us in the way that they think they want to build something, they want to grow something. So there'll be a whole process and structure around it, but essentially you come to us with the idea that you've got. It'll be a whole application process, and then we'll end up picking 3 winners as per se, and definitely not limited just 3 with some of the ideas we may see. And then first place, it'll be $4,999 as capital that will go into the idea.
Legally, how much we can give away?
Yeah, at the moment. So then it's all right. How can you apply that capital, the resources we have, us, the ideas we might have, the connections that we have in both the Web 2, Web 3 space, and
that's right. The mentors,
the mentors that are going to be available to you. to really boost your idea and take it to the next level.
Mhm.
And then,
for example, me and Husey thought of a startup idea. We're not going to get into it now, maybe another time, because there's going to be so many podcast episodes to go through everything, our whole life. But yeah, me and Husey wanted to do a startup, thought about it. And it was really about, like, if we had what we were offering, we had the capital and the resources, the people to talk to for advice. And, for example, it might just be like, what website builder should I use? Or who should I go to where do I find a developer? I can help you find developers, or, stuff like that. It doesn't have to be an NFT project, could be a Web2 project. You want to start a beer company, whatever. $5,000 can go a long way. Obviously, it's not going to build a project, but it can.
Yeah.
And then, I think it's more the people you get from it, and just the people you get from it, and the help that we get,
and almost just the confirmation bias of us three sitting behind you and constantly saying, "Yeah, you can do it." Actually, as a matter of fact, and it's really not that. Obviously, starting a business is always going to be difficult, but the walls and barriers that you think might be in the way, you can really push past quite easily if you get the right people behind you.
It's those first few steps of just freaking starting the thing.
That's right.
And I think we've learned that with
this project,
with beefy blokes. Yeah,
like we're already at 621 Discord members, active Discord members as well, and it's compounding to grow into what we want to grow it into for the community.
But even I had no idea when I was starting how much work was ahead of me and how much money was even going to be. So you learn these things and you get advice from people like us. For example, you want to start an NFT project, we can directly help you, right? Like, I think that's what's cool about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But then I'll talk about our alpha section, and then I'll go over.
Oh yeah.
What else should I go over? Yeah, I'll talk about our alpha section first. The merch. Yeah. So what's really unique to us? Well, it's not unique. What we are doing well, I think, which you can't underrate, is we are hiring a lot of people around us, and we will continue to hire after Mint when we've obviously got more capital. A lot of the capital can't put that much into paying people before Mint. But yeah, we've got a good team behind us so far. We've got someone in UK, someone in USA, someone in Canada, lab manager, project manager, and community manager. So they're all great people. But yeah, backing on that, we'll be hiring more team members, probably aiming to have like 15 people on the team on a pay eventually. But then 3 of those guys will be alpha researchers. So if you don't know what alpha is, it's basically like what insight or advice or tips, or how would you explain if you know what alpha is?
Being on the forefront of what's next and
just advice, right?
Jumping at it before it blows.
But it's not financial advice. It's just they're researching, they're analysts, right? They're just giving you their information. You take it with you. So obviously it's not a new thing if you're in the NFT space. There's projects like Llamaverse has been doing it for like 8 months, and they've developed a really, really good, robust system, which I spoke about a lot in the last podcast, but I'm not going to go over it. But yeah, alpha. So those 3 guys that we're hiring, they're going to have access to the analyst websites, and they're going to be constantly working. Like these guys are going to be full-time, like part-time, maybe full-time, whatever, same thing. They're going to be spending hours daily. Like we don't have time to research alpha for our community, holders only, by the way. So there'll be an alpha section. So they'll be providing you information on, if the project has been released. So a project that's already released, if it did a big pump and then it's gone down a bit and it's consolidating, they can look at the graphs and they can be like, well, maybe now it's a good time to buy if the team's successful. They got utilities coming out soon, stuff like that, right? Keeping you on the edge of all the best up and coming projects. And then also on top of that, they'll be getting us whitelists for the best projects that are coming, right? Like eventually as we grow, projects are going to come to us for collaborations, hopefully, especially if we build a good whitelist and alpha section. Our Discord will become real respected in that space. So people are going to want to come to us because they want our members. You guys, our community members, are obviously very valuable to them. Well, they will think that because you guys are. So yeah, they want you on their project. So they're going to offer us whitelist spots and holders only. And yeah, there's going to be a cool system around all that. But yeah, that's the alpha section.
I think on the alpha as well, it's the sort of thing where in the crypto and NFT world at the moment, there's just so much information. Like you don't know where to start. You don't know where to go. You open up Twitter, there's 1,000 giveaways to this, that, and the other, and you don't know what the best next thing is. So I think unless you're in it full time and going just ham, which thankfully Jackson was and still is to an extent, like over the past couple of years. Like one of the stories is that I can share is with the whole ENS airdrop. That was a wild one. Like Jackson kind of tipped it off to me. He's like, I've bought Fatson.eth. And I was like, okay, like what is that? How does that work? And he explained it to me. He's like, buy it. It's $250 that I put in for, I think 5 years. I've got that Lewismallzone.eth for. And then he called me one day when I was at work and he's like, dude, they just did the airdrop. And I'm like, okay, like,
What's an airdrop?
What's an airdrop?
Yeah.
Still learning it all. What the bloody hell is this? And he's like, oh, like I've gotten this much money. And I'm like,
17,000.
yeah. And then I was like, oh, fuck. Like I bought it for an extra, I think 2 years than what you did.
I think I paid like 150 for my, because you had to like renew for a certain amount of time anyway.
Yeah.
So he bought a longer one.
I bought, so yeah, 250, I think it was 5 years. I'm like, fuck, well, if you've gotten this much money, like how much money is sitting in my wallet? So I'm sitting in one of the offices at work and he's like, all right, you got to do this, link this to that.
It was a bit confusing.
Yeah, it was. And someone who was like pretty new to the whole space, I was like, what? Surely not. Surely it doesn't work like this. And then
surely I didn't just get 25K out of nowhere.
25K sitting in my wallet. And I was like, well, there's some bloody alpha. And then, so I think that's the benefit of being on it constantly. And you do need someone to be on it constantly and to point things out.
All our community members, you guys have jobs or you're doing stuff. So what it is for is you just come into the Discord and there'll be posts there. You can read it and they're going to be all the best projects that are out right now. So you don't have to then take the time to go and research. So you're not necessarily buying, obviously it's not financial advice, right? Yeah. You're just getting the alpha from us and you can decide what you want to do with it. So you don't have to take your time to research all the projects yourself.
Yeah, that's right. All right, well, do I get started on
I'll
the
go
community
merch.
Fund? Oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
Oh, I can do the community fund.
Yeah, I'll do merch and fortnightly donations. Yeah,
so community fund wallet, I went into deep detail on the last podcast, probably for about 10 minutes. But yeah, I'm so excited for it. And I think everyone in the community is. I know Lewis is, Daniel is as well. It's sick. Obviously, it's not a new utility in the NFT space if you're familiar, but what it is essentially is a completely different wallet, a completely different MetaMask wallet from the one that we're getting from Mint and such from that. So 20% of all the money from the Mint, which will be around 80 ETH. I'm not going to give an exact number because then you guys can figure out how much the Mint price is. So around 80 ETH will be deposited into wallet. So 20% of the Mint, right? First original Mint deposited into a brand new wallet. And then 25% of all secondary royalties, so secondary market royalties, will go into that. So 25% of those payments. So how OpenSea works is, every time one of you guys sells a bloke on OpenSea or looks rare or, rareable or whatever, we get a certain percentage. I think we're going to set it at 5%. And then 25% of that payment that we get from them going into there. And then what can you do with it, right? So for example, let's say Lewis has 5 blokes. I have 2 blokes. He has 5 voting rights then, and then I have 2. So you'll be able to choose from 4 options. I think, I don't really know. It might be 3 or 4 options. You connect your MetaMask to a website called snapshot.org. I think that's what it's called. I've got to check that. And it tells you, it already knows how many NFTs you're holding in your wallet, right? And so depending on how many you hold is how many voting rights you have. So there'll be 3 options basically. And it might be buy blue chip projects to vault them for a certain amount of time. So we can, so with that money, the 80 ETH, everyone will vote. And whichever one gets the most amount of votes is obviously the one that we'll do. So we'll do the work for you. You just vote on what we should do within reason. We're not going to do stuff that's absolutely crazy, stuff that we can do and stuff that we think's dope. Obviously it's not going to hurt our brand, but yeah. So for example, buying blue chip, vaulting them. So we could decide to buy an MAC, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, and for 25 ETH and vault it for 6 months and it goes up to 100 ETH. And then you guys decide you want to sell it. So the community decides they want to sell it. And then, you've made 75 ETH. And then the compounding on the wallet, it's just compounding. And anyway, it doesn't have to be like that. You guys could decide to spend all the money, right? Which is what we want you to do. So you could decide to start a beer company, do more merch, which we will be doing anyway. But, it's really hard to think of.
Whatever you guys want.
Anything, right? People have already had some really sick ideas, but yeah, could be anything. You want to talk about the merch?
Merch? Yeah, sure. So we've already been in contact with the merch supplier. We know them personally. They're really good with everything. We've already got everything designed. It's literally ready to go and ship out for.
Got the stickers ready.
Yeah, we got stickers as well, which we're going to be plugging around the city to get the blokes out there.
Some QR code stickers.
Yeah, some QR codes. So that obviously appeals to the demographic that doesn't know anything about NFTs or people who do and just decide to scan the QR code and we'll get our name out there that way.
But yeah, I think the merch, so it's going to be free except for shipping. So if you're international, maybe a bit more, but.
And Australia, it's like $10 and you can get a hoodie and a shirt and a hat. I think you pretty much fit it all into one package.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a nominal cost.
Only one order though. You're not making us broke.
No.
So yeah, one order, just pay shipping, you get free merch, so you can rep the brand.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's the ideology behind it. And our kind of ideology behind the merch is, like Supreme, if you know what that is. Supreme's a famous streetwear brand, not as hype anymore as it was, but they did seasons. So every season, you know, different, would never be the same. They would never release the same stuff. That's what we're going to do. We're never going to release the same merch. So if you were the original merch holder, you know,
Yeah.
you rep the original merch. And
We
actually, I'm
shipping
going
it
to drop
soon.
some alpha. Actually, I feel like I'm feeling a little bit alpha-y, you know, dropping some alpha. So another utility that we have, which I'll go over, is our community meetup, which we'll be doing at the end of our roadmap. So if everything goes smoothly, we sell out perfectly. Should be 5 months roadmap. At the end, we'll have a yacht party in Brisbane. And then the week after, we'll release the next roadmap. Anyway, yacht party will be sick. We'll be getting discounts at hotels, hopefully in Brisbane. So you guys can fly over. You have a +1 as well. You just have to hold a bloke. And we'll be organizing buses to the venue and shit. But so the alpha I want to drop is we might be doing some exclusive yacht club merch. So yeah, we might be dropping anyone who goes to the event will get a 1 of 1. Obviously not 1 of 1, but you only get this yacht club beefy blokes merch if you're at the event. So yeah, that's some alpha that we're thinking of. I think it's pretty cool. You know?
Yeah, I reckon so.
That is pretty cool.
I'm keen to rock it all.
Yeah. So.
All right, well, and then I can talk about the fortnightly AMAs, I guess, and that's just
It's basic.
Just with us 3 founders, we'll be popping on a space or something like this, and we'll ask you guys questions, and you can all ask us questions back. And
it's just like an all Twitter space, what
but I
everyone
mean,
does.
on that though, we're obviously all fully doxed. You can see us through that camera right there.
Yeah.
So we're available at all times on the Discord. Jackson's in there pretty much 24/7. Lewis and I obviously have full-time jobs, but just add us and we'll reply
Or any of the
straight
team.
away. Yeah. Or any of the team, Bungalow, Christina, or any of those key community members that we also have there. They're pretty knowledgeable about the project, and they know pretty much everything. And obviously they're just as passionate as we are about our vision. So they can answer pretty much any question you have. But yeah, so you can ask us any question on a formal space or something like that.
I feel like we're missing a utility.
What do we got?
Community spaces for no.
We did the Bloke Startup Fund.
Yep. Well, yeah, that's our utility.
Well, either way, but on that, it's endless opportunities. This roadmap's going to end. We'll start another one. Then after that roadmap's going to end. We'll start another one. It's literally just going to be, as Lewis's favorite word for this podcast, compounding. It's going to be compounding. It's going to be never ending.
I think that was Jackson's, but
was it? I thought it was yours. Well, that's a good word anyway.
So
I like it.
So yeah, like the whole, different from other projects in the sense that we're actually doing this legit. And with our utilities, obviously other projects, they have big promises and big things like games and such that cost a lot of capital and stuff like that. But whereas we've been able to work on our utilities beforehand so that when we mint and when we do sell out, so we need your guys' help to sell out on that day, like that first day. We really need to, because then that will make everything just flow so much nicer for literally the rest of our existence, right? We won't have to wait 2 months to give you any utilities. Like the utilities should be starting right away after mint, right? And as Husey said, it's going to compound. So 5-month roadmap, yacht party, next one drops.
5 months.
In that, during that first 5 months, we'll be working on the second one while releasing the first one, right? So it just keeps coming, and the utility and the information just keeps going. So yeah,
I think that the thing as well that you guys may have caught on to is with all these utilities, it comes back to the community as well. Like everything is guided by you and what we're going to do. So really, you guys have got the ideas. We've got the base ideas, and then you guys kind of filter into what you want next, and then we just take it and run with it.
We're just the people doing it.
Yeah.
So you guys are the reason why we're doing it. So yeah, it's been great. The last utility I think that we didn't mention is we're doing a $20,000 US. So
yes,
$20,000 donation to charity, which is, pretty standard. Obviously we're not going to advertise, we're doing a charity donation, because we're not those type of people, because I think it's just a necessity. If you make a large amount of money, do something for charity. So yeah, we might be doing a partnership with an actual brand. We're not just going to donate to a charity of choice. We might be doing a partnership with like an actual brand, like Thank You Water, for example, just an example. That is like a non-for-profit, a cooler collab. So it's more exclusive, not just a random donation. So yeah, that's that. But I guess we should talk about, just sum it up. What makes you really love this project, and why do you want to, what makes you want to be part of beefy blokes, and I guess the podcast?
Well, the fact that it exists and the vision behind it is something that we've always wanted, and something that I've always wanted to be a part of. Literally, as we spoke about before, that mentorship aspect of it would have helped Jackson and I so much 6 months ago. If we had had access to that, who knows where we would be. That was literally the only reason why we dropped the ball on our first startup, is because we didn't have that guidance. Not an access to capital either, but Like we just literally needed confirmation bias to push us through our barriers that we didn't get through. But
yeah, I mean, even we were struggling to come up with a name.
yeah. Literally every little aspect, like a
A
website,
website. And
name. There was where do we go for training? Where do we go for courses? Like if
Which
we
we've
just
all
had
figured out now.
someone, yeah, we figured it all out
Yeah.
now. But if we just had someone from the get go, it would have been so much easier. And
Yeah,
it would have
giving you a push along.
But even we're still learning, right? Like, as I said earlier, we're going to be learning as well as you guys, but even us with the project, we're still learning. For example, we went to a video editing place in Brisbane, paid $1,650. Literally, I'm going to say that fuck you guys.
Oh,
You fucked us over. You gave us a shitty video that we're not even going to upload. But yeah, like
we'll chop
we're
that one
learning.
out.
No, we're not. And so we did a month of basically saying we're going
I
to,
think we will. I think we
did a month of saying we're going to upload a video to our community that's going to be really nice. And, you know, they fucked us.
They did. They
So-
did. I think I made a better video.
So yeah,
Yeah, you
Lewis
did
made a better
actually.
video on
Yeah.
iMovie in 15 minutes. So that's the thing. We're learning as well. We're getting experiences in, you know,
And we're going to pass those teachings on to the community.
video of
one
it.
day.
And
Yeah,
I must say, I feel bad every single day that we keep, you know, delaying them because everything originally was going to be end of
End of April. No,
April.
mid-April actually.
mid-April.
Because it was
Mm.
around someone's birthday sitting on this couch.
Yeah.
Very responsible.
But we really actually do appreciate you guys staying around because a lot of projects,
Yeah.
the community members just fuck off. But again, I think that's back to we're really building a place that people actually just want to come and hang out. You know, like, yeah, we're building a place where people want to come and hang out. So people are bearing with us, and I ask you to keep bearing with us when we will release our mint date towards the end of May. So,
Yeah, that's right. Well, obviously we know why you're passionate about it, Jackson. You're, head first in this space. So why are you passionate about it, Luke? Give me
Yeah.
some background.
I think kind of similar to you in the sense that, like, I'm passionate about it because it's something that I wish I had access to, say, a year or two ago,
It would have
3
helped
years
so
ago.
much,
It
yeah.
would have, like, I went through, as I mentioned before, like absolute hell and back a couple of years ago. And I just found like being able to bounce things off other guys and other people just generally, like, okay, like what I'm going through this, like, what's your experience with this sort of stuff? Like, who knows where the bloody hell I would have ended up if I didn't have those other people to speak to. So I think the community and having people around you and building a strong community that we can help, like, that's why I'm super, super passionate about it. And we genuinely really want to build something, and we see legs in this thing, and we want to take the community with us.
That's right.
well, I think we better wrap it because I think
Because
my
you got a low
computer's about to
power.
die.
Oh
Yeah.
no, we can't lose this one too.
So yeah, we can't lose this one too, but we appreciate you guys. This is
Yeah.
first podcast. We're literally testing, as we said, there's going to be a whole completely different scene, 2 different cameras. Lewis has just got to figure out how to edit this. You know, we're working on all that. Literally everything's a test. As you know, we just recorded one and it fucking flopped. We didn't record it. So yeah, we're all
Yeah.
learning, and yeah,
We appreciate the support. So yeah, thanks guys.
Till
thanks,
next
guys.
time.
Yes.
Till next time.